Aw man, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. So what made gamers all over the world crazy about this game? And how did this gothic themed action-packed video game become one of the most absolute entertaining titles to come out in the 90s? I mean, what exactly made this game so appealing for the masses? At first glance, it could have been just another sequel to the already established Castlevania series, following the storyline of the Belmonts and how they fought against Dracula over and over. But no, it wasn't just another sequel. There was definitely something more, something that made it stand out of the rest, something that was imbued within the game that gave it its magic, something that has made us gamers come back for more. Anyways, what is up you guys, this is DeVuH, and in this video we're gonna revisit this masterpiece and dissect the title and examine what exactly gave this game its magic that tantalized us gamers for so long. So I was recently inspired to make this video because I found out that they were releasing this game for the PS4 and I knew I had to share my absolute love for this game. I just wanted to share my pure bliss and enjoyment that this game has provided me. It may seem that I'm fangirling about this game, but seriously though, for those of you who've played this game, know that this title was pure epicness. From its beautiful environments, the precise controls, the amazing soundtrack that plays throughout the game, which I'll discuss all of this in this analysis. Anyways, before I get completely sidetracked, let's break down some aspects as to why this game was just so outstanding. Alright, starting off, this game takes place 5 years after the events of Castlevania Rondo of Blood, where Richter Belmont fought against Dracula and defeated him. With the beginning of Symphony of the Night starting exactly at the final stage of Rondo of Blood, we the gamers get to use Richter and fight against Dracula. We're given the ability to use all of Richter's holy weapons and his famous whip. Also, besides his weapons, we're given the ability to use several movesets that allow Richter to be very versatile. From being able to dash on the floor to performing insane flying uppercuts or doing backflips. All this on top of the amazing soundtrack that plays in the background, the perfect combination of a haunting goth theme with the awesome guitar play that gives the player some hype while playing through this portion of the game. So now with this level, we head towards the end of Castle Keep where Dracula is waiting for us, while along the way we the players get the option to make a small detour to stock up on our preferred holy weapons and some hearts to perform certain devastating attacks, which I'll show in a bit. But once we reach the end of the Castle Keep, we find Dracula sitting on his throne and we're given some cringe-worthy but awesome dialogue between the two.
Dracula, die now and leave this world. You'll never belong here.
Oh. But this world invited me.
I'll be honest though, I really love the original voiceovers of the first release compared to the later ports. Maybe it's just a nostalgia talking, but who knows. It's not long until we see Dracula teleport off his throne and faces off against a vampire hunter.
Die for their sins!
We see Dracula teleport near us and we notice his grand stature heads above us while at the same time summoning hell flames from his cape. Like I mentioned earlier, while playing as Richter, we're able to perform some devastating attacks using our holy weapons, ranging from performing a Hydro Storm attack which sends rain to damage all enemies in his vicinity, or performing acts of creating giant pillars of crosses that fly around us while being surrounded by a beam of light. These special attacks made us players feel so damn powerful. It's like having a finishing move that we the players get to spam over and over, granted as long as we have enough hearts to perform the acts. Overall, it just made us feel that we can stand toe to toe with the count. Anyways, this fight between Richter and Dracula was so epic. We're put directly in a life or death situation where we have to defeat the monster in front of us. Luckily enough though, if we somehow lose too much health, we'll have Maria Renard come to our aid and provide us with a boost which gives us some Dragon Ball Ultra Instinct like powers. Where we get to see Richter use a flame-imbued whip and become seemingly invisible to all attacks from Dracula. The fight finally progresses to a different dimension where we get to see Dracula transform into his true form, becoming this huge demonic monster who spits fireballs at you, who can also jump on top of the player. After finally defeating Dracula, we're given a quick synopsis of what happened during the storyline, but soon after that we're finally put in the shoes of the famous half-human, half-vampire hero himself, Alucard. Anyways, so far, the very intro to the game had us gamers blown away already, but it only gets better as we progress through the castle using Alucard. So here we get to play as Alucard for the remainder of the game, and we get to experience the absolute epicness of this title. Let's start off with some gameplay aspects and the overall feel of this game. The first thing we notice while controlling Alucard is the controls for him is so smooth. It feels so nice controlling this character in a sense that he isn't overly smooth to the point that it feels like he's gliding, but it's a perfect combination of precision and a nice steady flow to the movement that made it feel so easy to pick up and control. The way the control handles made it easy for any casual gamers to literally pick up the game and enjoy it instantly. Anyways, we notice these elements of his actions and the way we control him by the way he slashes enemies throughout the game, or the way he jumps from platform to platform while traversing throughout the castle, or even when he's doing his backwards dash. It was a great feeling to know that it was so easy to pick up the control scheme of this character and how player friendly it was to enjoy this game. Mind you, I was only 7 years old when I first played this game and it was easy to play as Alucard. We can literally master his movements within the first 10 minutes of this game, which gave us the players a sense of control with this character, but still not to the point of being overpowered. In addition to his basic moveset, we the players get the option of using some secret actions that Alucard possesses, like summoning hell flames similar to Dracula, or performing a soul steal move where we get to damage all the enemies around us while at the same time gaining health. I could go on talking about all the different movesets and combination with the weapons that entails with this game, but that would take hours to explain. But I will touch on the weapons aspects in this game later on in the video. Alright, so on top of the great control feel we get with this game, the developers decided to add an element that in my opinion was amazing. And what exactly am I talking about here? I'm talking about the implementation of some RPG elements. At first, when we think of RPG games, the first games to pop in our minds are games like Final Fantasy, where we get to use our characters to fight enemies maybe in a turn-based system and grinding up XP to level up our characters. But in this title, the addition of the RPG elements really made it stand out from the rest of the side-scrolling games to come out at the time. Here we have Alucard progress through the game, gaining experience points, leveling up, and gaining stat boosts like any other RPG game. For example, when we go to the menu, we can see the stats that Alucard has at the time and the amount of experience points needed to level up. Also, as someone who loves the grind of killing the same enemies over and over, the added benefit of leveling up Alucard and making him stronger really incentivized players like me who enjoyed this aspect of the game. Other RPG elements are also noted with the presence of the health meter and indicating how much health we have left, or the amount of heart orbs that we can hold at one time. All of this was absent when we were playing as Richter at the beginning of the game. Another addition to an RPG elements are the items scattered throughout the castle that let us either gain more health or help us gain more heart points, but also the addition of gaining other abilities that help Alucard transform into different creatures. What I'm talking about here is his wolf form, where we get to see him dash through hallways like a freight train and obliterate everything in his path, or his bat transformation, where initially it helps us gain access to certain portions to the castle that even with a double jump wouldn't allow us to get to. Later on though, we get to see his bat transformation gain certain attacks like spitting out fire or using echo to help us navigate through dark corridors. But my favorite addition to his bat transformation is a wing smash attack that is similar to the wolf dash, but it gives us some verticality when we charge against the enemies. The last transformation that Alucard gets is the ability to transform into a mist, which allows him to be invincible to enemy attacks. Later on in the game, we get the added benefit of becoming like a gas cloud, where when we turn into our mist form, we get to damage the enemies as well. Anyways, going back to the RPG elements of this game, if you don't feel as though we're overpowered enough, we get one of the best parts of this game, which was that we're given a ton of weapons to choose from, many other equipments that Alucard can wear, and all the other miscellaneous gears and combinations that we the players get to enjoy. It was a great addition for players like me who enjoy the grind of an RPG game, that were given an added benefit of acquiring special weapons or equipments from certain enemies, which incentivized players to go back and forth acquiring items that we sought after. It was nice to see the stat boost that we get after grinding for a while, and I love the freedom of customization that this game provides, with some equipment may alter Alucard's overall look slightly, for example having a cape that we can change colors. Anyways, going back with the weapons aspects of this game, there's just so much variety that at first I couldn't pick which weapon to choose from, because a lot of them were so good, some having special abilities that we can discover while playing the game. But it wasn't until we get one of the most powerful weapons in the game, which is almost game breaking in itself, the Crusade Grim. We're given a weapon that absolutely wrecks everything in its path. There are only a couple of enemies that can withstand a full-fledged long-term attack from this weapon, but even then they eventually fall. Overall, the nice smooth controls, the precision of the gameplay mechanics, the variety of movesets, the RPG elements, the weapons, and other abilities that Alucard possesses really helped this game stand out from the rest. It was pure enjoyment to see the fruition of all these elements coming together to form a ridiculously powerful character, but it's not to say that we're deprived of having fun in this game due to all these additions. But on top of all the things that we've already talked about, there was another thing that stood out in this game that made it so good. And I'm talking about the magnificent music that plays throughout the game. I mean, who can forget walking through a brand new section of this castle and discovering for the first time the amazing soundtrack that plays. We're given so much variety in the music as well, which kept the game fresh throughout his life. We can literally have Alucard stand in the corner and just enjoy the soundtrack if we wanted to, but we're also given an option of listening to other soundtracks in the game when we speak with the librarian. It's these little details that help make this game a classic. Anyways, back to the music. One of the most prominent examples of the soundtracks that plays when we first step into the new area is when we step into the alchemy laboratory for the first time. Who can forget the haunting but upbeat soundtrack that plays in this area? It gave the feeling of grandiose, knowing we're traversing through a large environment, finding all the secrets while at the same time finding the hordes of monsters in Alucard's path. Other examples of great soundtracks that plays throughout the game are the soundtrack that plays when we're heading towards the top of the clock tower, with this combination of gothic themed rock and roll, making the players feel a sense of rush while having to push through the inner workings of the claustrophobic environments of this area, while it's surrounded by flying medusas and harpies. Or the eloquent music that plays when we're traversing through the library, which gave a sense of wonder, and also the creepy cave music when we're heading down to the catacombs, which made us gamers feel as though we're heading down into an unknown abyss with no way out. There is so much to talk about when it comes to the music of this title. I haven't even touched on the soundtrack that plays for certain bosses in this game, which I'll discuss those in the second part of this video analysis. Also, I'll be touching on aspects like the environment of this game, the bosses, the many more secrets and additions that this game provides. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the first part of this game analysis and why revisiting Castlevania Symphony of the Night was a great experience. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Also at your discretion, if you can also turn on the notification bell to get notified when I release the second part of this analysis sometime this week, that would be awesome. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great day and I'll see you next time.